Hi there. Britney is here in Phoenix, Arizona. We are jumping right in to our Mirror Study Bible. Grab your study Biblias. We're going to read straight from John chapter 3 in the bold print. Jumping in. Now amongst them there was a man who was a prominent leader among the Jews, a Pharisee named Nicodemus. He came to see Jesus under the cover of the night and said to him, "Rabbi, it is clear for all of us to see that you come from God as a teacher. The signs you perform are proof that God is with you. No one is able to do these signs you do if you are not in union with God." Jesus answered him emphatically, "No one would even be able to recognize anything as coming from God's domain unless they are born from above to begin with. The very fact that it is possible to perceive that I am in union with God as a human being reveals mankind's genesis from above." Nicodemus did not understand this answer at all and said to him, "How can a person be born if they are already grown up? Surely one cannot re-enter your mother's womb and be born a second time?" Jesus answered, "You have to get this. Unless someone is born out of water, the womb, and spirit, there would be no possible connection with the realm of God. Whatever originates out of flesh is flesh, but what is source in spirit is spirit. Whatever originates out of flesh is flesh, but what is source in spirit is spirit. Don't be so surprised when I say to you, you couldn't get here in the flesh unless you got here from above. We can observe the effect the wind has and hear its sound whenever it touches objects, yet those objects do not define the wind. It comes and goes of its own accord. If life was not born out of spirit in the first place, it would not be possible to detect spirit influence at all. We are spirit compatible by design." Whoa! Woohoo! I'm going to read this again. We can observe the effect the wind has and hear its sound whenever it touches objects. Yet those objects do not define the wind. It comes and goes of its own accord. If life was not born out of spirit in the first place, it would not be possible to detect spirit influence at all. We are spirit compatible by design. We are spirit compatible by design. Woo! 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 We are spirit compatible by design. By design. Woo! Yes, 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 Jesus. To which Nicodemus responded, "How is this possible? What kind of birth can this be? You're the teacher of Israel, yet you do not know these things?" Nicodemus, hear me. Our conversation stems from what we, mankind, have always borne witness to. We endorse what we have observed. How is it that your religious perspectives keep you so blinded to this? If I speak incarnate language to you, and you are not persuaded about our common origin, how will you be persuaded about heavenly things? No one can fully engage in heaven's perspective unless one's heavenly origin is realized. The Son of Man declares mankind's co-genesis from above. Remember how Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness? Even so, the Son of Man will be lifted up. Wah! Yeah! In the same prophetic pattern, I will be lifted up for all to see and be equally persuaded in the echo of the life of the ages now redeemed within them. The entire cosmos is the object of God's affection. And he is not about to abandon his creation. The gift of his Son is for mankind to realize their origin in him who mirrors their authentic birth. Begotten not of flesh but of the Father. In this persuasion, the life of the ages echoes within the individual and announces that the days of regret and sense of lostness are over. God has no intention to condemn anyone. He sent his Son not to be the judge, but the Savior of the world. Faith and not flesh defines you. In the persuasion of your authentic sonship, there is no separation or rejection. For someone to prefer not to embrace this is to remain under their own judgment, sustained by their futile efforts to define themselves through personal performance. In their stubborn unbelief, they reject what is revealed and redeemed in the name of the Son, begotten only of the Father and not the flesh. And this is the crisis. The light is here right now, yet people are so addicted to their own darkness that they prefer a life of labors, annoyances, and hardships. Whoa! Woo! And this is the crisis. The light is here right now. Yet people are so addicted to their own darkness that they prefer a life of labors, annoyances, and hardships. When someone is engaged in something worthless, they often fear exposure and feel threatened by the light. Whoa! But I have good news for you, Nicodemus. You won't ever need to hide in darkness again. He who discovers the poetry of truth faces the light unashamedly. His lifestyle boldly displays the workmanship of union with God. His works speak for themselves, made in heaven, wrought in God. Like Nicodemus, there are many following at a comfortable distance, hidden in disguise. They too are invited to turn and face the redeeming light of the love of God. From there, Jesus and his followers went to the region of Judea and spent some bonding time together, immersed in conversation. John and his disciples were not far from there at the place of springs, Aenon, near Salem, which made it a popular location for baptism. This was shortly before John landed in jail. Some of the disciples of John were disputing with a Jew who was probably baptized by the disciples of Jesus. They debated about the meaning of their purifying rituals, comparing notes as to which baptism would be the most significant between Jesus and John's. They anxiously informed John that the one who was with him beyond the Jordan, whose life and mission he endorsed and bore witness to, is now attracting everyone to him. His baptism could put them out of business. To which John responded, well, he obviously has heaven's backing, so let's not be jealous. Everything we have is a gift. You heard me when I said that I am not the Messiah. My mission was to introduce the Christ, not to compete with him. The bridegroom's best man does not compete for attention. He is appointed to support the groom and to greatly rejoice when he hears his voice. This is my joy. This is what I have come for. The significance of my prophetic mission was simply to elevate him. We are dealing with two dimensions here. The one coming from above presides over all, while the reasoning from a mere earthly perspective is confined to communicate from an earthly point of view. The conversation realized as originating in heaven has the final say. Even though I have seen and heard heavenly things, it seems to me that no one embraces what I have borne witness to. By trying to protect a fading prophetic perspective, you are missing the entire point. The shadow is eclipsed by the substance, not the other way around. Whoever lays a hold of this testimony has the evidence of God's truth embossed like the impression of a signet ring, resonating in their inner consciousness. For the one sent from God communicates God's gift language from the limitless resource of the Spirit. To be persuaded about sonship as unveiled in the Son is to fully participate in the life of the ages. To be unpersuaded about sonship is to remain in blindfold mode to life itself in the here and now, and to exchange fellowship with the author of the life of our design for a fearful image of vengeful, merciless God, quite the opposite of the loving Father the Son reveals. John chapter 3 from the Mirror Study Bible. Get it? Come join me in our next session. Hey! Just want to pray for all of you real quick. Yeah, Father God, all who are watching, God, I thank you that they have hungry hearts to receive. God, that you are lighting things up in their life, God, highlighting different things, God, where you're moving and shaking things that weren't meant to be, God, and that what is meant to be will stay firm in the foundation. Whoa, so good. Yeah. Love encounters from heaven every day. God, I thank you that you illuminate the path. Light up the path from which we are to go and the direction we are to take. God, we just thank you for ease in the glory. Ease in the glory. Ease in the glory. God, we just rest in your love today. We trust you with our life and thank you that we get to have fun in the adventure. Woo woo! You guys are amazing. You're so loved. You're powerful. You're victors. You're more than a conqueror. You're fearless. Go and have fun today. Muchos besos.